Ciao, I'm Enzo.
I'm Celia.
This is Piazza Talk, our channel about our life in Lucca.
And in the Tuscan Hills.
Please hit the subscribe button. Grazie. Grazie. Coffee is, if I can say so, is sacred for me. It's a sacred drink for me. I come from a coffee culture, and coffee is probably the most important drink after water. The most important thing, the coffee, you have to look after your kettle properly there. You can still find around, as still popular, the traditional Moka kettles made with aluminium. But we personally prefer the stainless steel one. I think that, in my view, the taste is more appealing.
But also, we should say that because you're from Naples, even in Italy is known for the best coffee.
Yes, Naples is wonderful because there is a strong coffee culture, and there are bars in every corner. So they make thousands and thousands of coffee every day. You don't actually sit down with a cup of coffee in here, because coffee gets cold by the time you move from the coffee machine to the table. So it is interesting. You might have a cappuccino maybe. Coffee in Italy most times is actually drunk when it's hot at the bar, straight from the machine.
At home, it's, as we said, a sort of ritual, and this is how you do it.
Yes. The ritual is old, because they started with these kettles here, because the Neapolitan kettle, it was very popular before they invented the Moka, and we still use it. We have this one, so we go back to our old traditions, and we make coffee with this.
But it produces more like a filter coffee.
Yes, it is a form of filter coffee in a rather interesting way, but I'm going to see it in a minute here. Then we use this kettle here. This kettle is for 6 small cups, and we have a bottom that is called the caldaia. Then we have a funnel with a filter. Put inside here. We put the water here. That's the top. The top has got a washer that and a filter here. This washer sort of holds the filter, and every certain number of months this washer wears, so we need to replace it. And in a video in the future we're going to show how to look after your kettle and replace the washer and keep your coffee kettle in good condition there.
In the caldaia there's also a valve, isn't there?
Yes, the valve is here. The valve is that if there is too much pressure inside the boiler, then the steam escapes from this valve. To be honest, only once in my life I've seen this valve spraying steam. And this is the top. The top has got a little hat here that stops the coffee going everywhere, spraying everywhere. In the stainless steel kettles is inbuilt. And the one made of aluminium, you have to buy a little umbrella that you put on the top, otherwise it sprays everywhere, unless you put the lid on top, and then it's safe. And the coffee pours slowly, percolates slowly into the top of the Moka. And now we are going to show you how it works, how we make a cup of coffee.
But we should also say that if you have a new one, or you've been away on holiday, you should make a few dummy runs of coffee to sort of proof the kettle again.
Yes, absolutely, because when you make coffee here, the coffee builds up a kind of lining inside the kettle, in any part of the kettle there. You don't want to remove it. You want to rinse the kettle, and that's it. If you go away and you don't use the kettle, then it gets a bit kind of moldy. So what I do, I rinse it properly, and I do a couple of dummy coffee there to try to get back to the original flavor.
But you never ever wash it with any kind of soap?
No soap, no dishwasher of any kind, nothing. I mean, even when you buy a new one, which is neat, takes a bit until it gets the right taste. So you need to work on it. To make a cup of coffee with this kettle, what you need to do, you need to pour the water inside. Now the question is which level. The manufacturer, they always tell you that you should go to the level of the valve. Now if you can come, you can see it here inside. Okay,
so it's the bottom of the valve.
Yes, the bottom, because the valve should not be, this one is fine, it's not be in the water here. Then you put the funnel here, and then you get coffee. The smell is fantastic.
And there is no good or bad coffee, is it? It's the coffee you like.
Yes. And the most important thing here is that you don't put coffee on the edge of the bottom of the kettle here, because otherwise the seal does really work and becomes complicated, but can be sorted out. If, like I done now, just put a bit of coffee on this, what I do with a finger, sometimes wet fingers are better, I remove the coffee from here. So now the coffee has to be a kind of heap. Never press it, never. Just put coffee, create a little heap here, and that's the way that we do it. Next stage, put this on the top here. Okay, the stainless steel is a bit more complicated to screw. So what I normally do, I screw the bottom anti-clockwise, and so it's all aligned. So it's actually perfectly sealed. Okay, this is the first kettle here. Now let's go to the Neapolitan one. Neapolitan one is made of 4 parts. So we have a bottom that becomes a top during the operations there. Then we have this inside with a filter, and then we have the top that becomes the bottom. So what we do, and we have got an important thing, there is a little hole, it's like the valve we seen before, and this is very important. So what we need to do first thing is to put water inside, and the water should go below the hole. So I don't know if it shows on the camera. Can you see the hole here? The little hole.
I think it's difficult.
Okay, but anyway, we said that the little hole is below the little holes, probably 2 or 3 millimeters below that. Okay, the next thing we do is we are going to put this one inside here, not to the bottom, because we got to put the coffee now. So put coffee here. Again, we fill it, don't press it. This got a little heap here, not too much. Now to screw this on the top, I push this to the button here, and then I'm going to add the top that becomes the bottom, which is a little kettle, you can see, upside down. And that's ready to go on the stove. Now, last thing I have to say, I don't want to forget about this little kettle here, the one we use very often. Is old, has lost the top, but we're not going to change it because the coffee is so good. So let's go and make coffee on the stove. The most important thing is to keep an eye on the little hole, which is here. So when the water is coming out, or these little drops of water, it means that we are ready to make the coffee. You can see the water is coming out. So I'm going to turn the heat off. I'm going to put the kettle upside down and wait for a couple of minutes until the water goes to the coffee, and we can serve it.
There we go.
Here. You smell the aroma, it's wonderful. There's more coffee for the next few seconds. Okay. One important thing when the coffee is ready, that you get a spoon and you stir the coffee.
And you know, the irritating thing is that after all these years, having been trained, his coffee still tastes better than mine.
Well, coffee number 1. You need sugar. Or like it sweeter.
Coffee number 1.
Coffee kettle.
Coffee kettle, or macchina di caffè, as it's known in Italy. Nobody ever calls it a moka here, do they?
Macchina o macchinetta?
Macchina, macchinetta.
How is it?
It is just wonderful. It's my little up moment of the day.
But I remember when I met you, you were very much into coffee. I didn't find the right coffee, but you were much into coffee.
Well, that's a big story. I went around Soho trying to make good coffee.
Coffee number 2. You can do this way, or you can also do the top as well.
And this is quite a special coffee cup, suitable for a Neapolitan kettle, because it's got a...
Neapolitan card is number 9. Looks like 9 di coppe. Coffee number 2.
Neapolitan coffee kettle.
Do you taste the difference?
It's completely different. It's much less strong.
Yes.
It's much more like a filter coffee.
Qua è pieno di ciclisti, non potete capire.
Stamattina. Thank you for watching, and a super thank you to our subscribers. If you have not subscribed yet, please press the button. It's a great way to support our channel, and it's free.